So today I want to talk a little bit about communication and not personal communication necessarily, but partially it is, but really how companies are choosing to communicate these days. Now we see a lot more companies choosing to communicate with a lot more kindness and empathy, which is great. They're really trying to put themselves in the shoes of their customers or even their employees, and that's really important because we're blessed enough with the show to speak to a lot of really smart people and get a lot of insight. And there's a lot of benefits of companies using empathy. For them even using empathy in their communication and kindness. And there's a lot of great books. I mean, one is from Michael Brenner. It's Mean People Suck, and this book is focused on basically how to lead with empathy and actually create, have profits as well as a better life for everyone, and bring it all together and make it full circle.
And the thing that kept coming up was empathy. And what I found was that organizations that are successful, they have a culture of empathy. They care about their customers. They care about their employees. They care about the imprint that they make on the world, sustainability and corporate social responsibility and all those kind of buzzwords and purpose.
Another really great one is The Kind Communicator by Elizabeth Berry. And this one focuses really on, once you check your ego, sort of that's where life begins, and it's kindness, compassion, and wisdom for business leaders, and how that could really make a difference in leading your business.
Some of the tips that I have in my new book are the 3 habits of effective communicators, which are to catch yourself. It's all based on nature. So this book is, and these tips are based on birds, because I find that if we can use nature as our teacher, then we can look out a window and be inspired and remember that we could be a better person just like that. We don't have to go back to a book or go back to some sort of pamphlet or some sort of teaching that, a coach brought to you. No, it's all right outside of our windows. So, like the bird catches a good wind, you can catch yourself, and that's 2 ways. 1, saying something that you might not mean, and 2, catching yourself for not saying something that you really wish to say. You keep it all in here, and then it clogs up the throat, and that whole thing makes you not feel so good. Another tip is to fly above yourself in real time, philosophically, of course, but it allows you to look at how you're acting, hear what you're saying, and recognize the times where you're not showing up that great. And no one really wants to see themselves in that sort of embarrassing, shameful way, but when you do, you can actually change. Another thing to do is to have the power and the courage to speak your truth. And what that means is to use your words wisely, as I said before, kindly, directly, and thoughtfully, not letting anything sit inside, because when we let things sit inside, that's when we start to ruminate about them, and we can become a ticking time bomb. Brevity is another great tool for any leader who wants to go beyond their ego. Most of us show up at meetings, or we talk too much. Everything that we have to say is so important. And if you can be brief and intact and on point, articulate everything that you have to say in a clear, concise way, then people will respond in different ways. And I guess the last tip I would give is to be a great listener.
Another great book is The Kindness Giver's Formula by Randy McNeely. Now, this one's actually pretty cool because this is a simple, step-by-step guide to transforming to be a kinder, better person.
And the argument that I make is kindness is the greatest untapped economic power on the planet. And here's why I say that. Think about this. If you can establish a culture in your organization where people feel respected, where they feel heard, where they feel like you have a cause worth working for, and so what's going to happen to their happiness level within the organization? It's going to go up. They feel like they can talk to their boss. If they feel like their boss is not their boss, let me rephrase that. Their manager is their mentor, their coach, helping them to learn and understand their responsibilities, empowering them to fulfill them, and giving them opportunities to stretch. Their happiness level is going to go up. When their happiness level goes up, let me add on to that, their loyalty level is going to go up. Loyalty level is going to go up. So when that happens, how are they going to treat your customers? They're going to work their tails off. They're going to, because if they believe in your cause, they're going to work their tails off to make sure that the customers are happy. Mm-hmm. When you have satisfied customers, what happens to your opportunities?
Goes up.
Your opportunities always go up. They always go up. And when your opportunities goes up, what happens to your bottom line? It goes up. Prosperity comes. And you really don't even have to focus on the bottom line. It just kicks off the cycle. You focus on ensuring that you have a good quality product, a good cause that your company is trying to meet. Here's what we're doing. Here's why we're doing it. Here's how we're doing it. And here's the role that you play in that. You get that into that. You get that into your employees' hearts, and they know you care about them, and they look forward to coming to work because they there's a good, genuine, friendly culture there. Your business is going to thrive.
Another one, we recently spoke to Douglas and Lisa Marie Hatcher, and they have a book called Win with Decency, which is another book focused on how companies can be decent and still be out there and be decent with their employees and their clients and still remain positive and profitable and things like that.
All these traits are critical. Vulnerability. How are you going to connect with people? If your story is positive, which most corporate stories are, people don't believe it. They're not going to care. They're not going to relate to it. You got to change how people want authenticity, humility, empathy, vulnerability together equals authenticity.
That. So, like I said, we're really blessed. And I think, kindness in the communication and empathy make a big difference of how people, customers are choosing to interact with companies.